The five elements is Chinese astrology and Feng Shui. The cycles. Hi, I'm Alan Lum, and today I'm going to talk about the five elements and how they relate to each other. How they relate to each other, we use a term called the cycles. Now, in our universe, there's different types of energies. So too on the earth, we have different types of energies. Now, the five elements are unseen energies in the universe and on earth. The five elements are a system that developed in China many, many years ago, and they're observed to manifest itself through nature. So these five elements, if you think about them, they're mainly like energies around our environment, and they're not static. So they're also known as the five movements. The five elements are metal, water, wood, fire, and earth. Metal. Metal is a firm type of energy. It's like a structured, uh, organized energy where it's like a sense of control. Think about like a big slab or a firm metal scepter or rod. Then we have water. Water is a fluid type of energy. Water flows according to like different landforms. And water can be like an adaptive, flexible type of energy. Next, we have wood. Wood is like the trees in the forest or a plant. The wood energy can be firm in the middle, like the tree, but it also branches out and can be flexible at times. Then there's fire. Fire is a volatile type of energy. Fire can be charismatic. Fire can also be unpredictable and also unconventional. Then there's earth energy. If you think about earth or the earth energy, it's like a stable, grounded type of energy. And earth can be more conventional. So again, the five elements are metal, water, wood, fire, and earth. Now to begin with, let's look at how they relate to each other, which we call cycle. They interact and affect each other differently. Now, how, as I mentioned, they relate to each other, it's what we call like a cycle relationship or cyclical. There are mainly three cycles or relationships that we can focus on. So here with our five elements, we have the first one, the productive cycle. The productive cycle, it's said to, as one element helps to produce or nourish the other element. For example, metal helps to nourish water. In a sense, if you have a cold pipe, eventually you have moisture and condensation or water. Then water helps to nourish the wood. It's like food for the wood to grow. or nourishment. Then wood is fuel for the fire. Fuel, fuel to produce more of that fire energy. And fire is said to produce earth. Now, if you think about volcanoes, we have the volcanic fire, and after it cools, we have landforms or more earth. Then in the depths of the earth, we have our minerals. The earth produces our minerals or metal. So here in the productive cycle, it says it nourishes or enhances or supports the other element. The next relationship or cycle is called the reductive cycle. Now, if you take a look, we have our arrows in reverse. So the same 5 elements, but what we're looking at is the relationship. So here in the reductive cycle, water reduces metal. So for example, the productive cycle, the metal helps to produce water or the condensation. Now, with the water sitting on the metal, eventually you have rust or the metal is reduced. Then wood reduces water. Think about the trees. The trees sucks up the water or diminishes the water. Then fire reduces wood. The fire burns up the wood. And the earth smothers the fire. Think about like the volcanic fire. After we have the landform that cools, it smothers out the fire. And metal reduces earth. The metal, after it's produced, it drains the energy of the earth. So here in the reductive cycle, it says that one element reduces or drains the other element. Now the third cycle is called the destructive or controlling cycle. In a sense, energy is never completely destroyed. It changes forms. So here in this controlling cycle, we have metal to wood. Think about the relationship. What does metal do to wood? It chops wood. Anybody do any gardening? What do you use? You use your metal shears to trim the trees. And wood controls earth. So for example, like if you had a lot of earth, loose soil, if you planted some trees or some grass, it holds the earth in place, so it controls the earth. And earth blocks water like a dam, or it controls the water. It holds the water in place. In also another sense that we have the water, it needs to flow according to the landforms. So it's controlled by the landforms or earth. And what happens when you have a fire and you need to put it out? Use water. So water can put out the fire or control the fire. And here, the final one, where we have fire to metal. Fire melts and shapes metal. So here in this relationship, one element is says to control the other element. So again, we have our 5 elements, but what we're looking at is the relationship of one to the other or to each other. So in summary, the relationship cycles, the productive cycle, the reductive cycle, and the controlling cycle explains the relationship of the five elements to each other.